I'm Cassie, and this is my channel, Miraculous Talk. I'm a fan of the show, The Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. And with this 4th season, I have found myself really wanting to talk about plot development, character development, theories, everything. But nobody in my life, in my family, in my circle of friends, is remotely interested in this show. So, I thought, hey, let's create a channel and talk with all of you. So, for the first video, we're going to be talking about what a lot of people are talking about, and that is Cat Noir's lack of screen time. So, without further ado, let's talk Miraculous. Alright, so, Cat Noir is really getting the short end of the deal this season. He is not getting much screen time. Yes, we saw him in Lies, and yes, we saw him in Furious Fu, but he's really not getting much attention. Like, we're not seeing transformations, we're not seeing, you know, a lot of the fight scenes with him, we're not seeing anything. And even in Soul Crusher, when he went to rescue Marinette, I mean, she sort of just said, wait, and we didn't get a nice Mary Chad moment, which would have been cool. But he is just getting the short end of the deal. And now, as a Cat Noir fan, I mean, Cat is my favorite in the whole series. It is kind of annoying and kind of frustrating because I would like to see more Cat. But there is a reason for it. Okay, like many of you, I think the writers are using this for something, and they are working up to something. I do think it's going to be an arc, I guess you could say, in this plot for this season. We'll get back to that more, but first let's talk about Alya, and why it's important that she's where she's at, and how she's not really taking Cat's spot. So, Alya knows that Marinette is Ladybug, and Cat does not. And that's going to be a conflict later, I'm sure. But I think the reason why this happened is because Marinette's life was being so complicated by her superhero life. Her personal life was not just her personal life anymore. The Kwamis definitely melded everything together, and because she can't get away from it now. They're always with her. Granted, Tiki was always with her, but Tiki's well behaved. The Kwamis are not. So she's stressing about that. Hawk Moth is gone crazy because he's Shadow Moth now, and he's just doing more and more to try and get the Miraculous. Which, by the way, I think we can kind of assume that's what's going on, because when we see the Optigami episode, we see Optigami watching all the characters, and we see her giving Miraculouses to Carapace and others, while she has her new costume on, and we haven't seen any of those episodes. Now, maybe we will see those episodes, or maybe there's just that many fights that we're supposed to believe is going on all the time, and that Shadow Moth has upped his game that much. Anyways, her life is in shambles. She cannot cope. And rather than pull Cat into her civilian life by saying, yeah, my boyfriend broke up with me, which he knows her in real life, so he could figure it out. Rather than saying that, she's just like, no, I'm not gonna talk. I don't want to talk. So when it comes down to someone who's in her personal life actually seeing what's going on and that she's going nuts, she ends up confiding in the person who is seeing it, because Cat's not seeing it. So what does that mean going forward? Does that mean Alya's always going to be in Cat's place? No. And here's the thing. In Optigami, we see Marinette make Alya a permanent member of the team and give her the Fox Miraculous permanently. The way I took it when I watched it is she is going to train her to be the next Guardian, which I'm not really sure why she would do that, since Suhan showed up and is supposed to be watching. I would think that if anything happened, he would just take the box back. But I don't know. So Marinette realizes, though, that she needs someone to watch the box to help her in the event something happens like Optigami, or worse. But here's the thing. She can't ask Cat to do that, because number one, Cat doesn't know who she is, so she can't kind of like take him under her wing, so to speak, like Master Fu did her, and tell him all about the Miraculous box and everything, being Guardian. And number two, Cat is always with her. So if something goes down, Cat's going down with her. and more than likely first, because he's always sacrificing himself for her. So she can't tell him. She can't have him be the guardian or, you know, the backup in case things go wrong, because he would be in the situation where things go wrong, most likely. So that's why Alia is important. Now, we've got to get past this and the whole, you know, Alia learning everything and becoming part of Marinette's superhero world, and then we'll be able to see Cat more. It's just an arc in the story, guys. That's just part of it. Now here's the other thing. We've been talking about whether or not he's being replaced. He could never be replaced. Ladybug could never replace him. First off, we know from the episode where Carapace makes his first appearance that Ladybug says, "I could never replace you, Cat." Second, when we look at the beginning of this season with Truth, she admits that she likes Cat Noir's humor and admires certain things about him. Third, Lies, her reaction when Cat sacrifices himself, yet again, is, "I can't take this, don't do this to me." So we definitely know she has feelings for Cat. I mean, look at that episode, that little short that was done a couple years ago, where Marinette is writing in her diary and she says, "You know, if Adrien wasn't around, I probably would see Cat differently." So we know she's got feelings. And we also know, Marinette being Marinette, does not want to accept those feelings. A, because of Adrien, but B, she's also got Cat Noir in the back, like Cat Blanc in the back of her mind. Okay, so we don't know that she ever told Cat Noir about Cat Blanc. I mean, there's nothing to indicate that she did. So she's carrying around basically trauma of seeing the fact that she did love Cat in real life, and that love led to everything being destroyed. Absolutely everything. And her partner being akumatized, and that hurt her. Hurt her to see that Cat was akumatized, and it scared her to see the end of the world. So she's got this fear about Cat being akumatized. She has to. There's no way she doesn't. So if she's got this in her mind, you know, why would she want to tell Cat who she is? She's gonna have that writing on her and being in the back of her head all the time that if I told Cat who I am, if I give him any clues to who I am, it's going to lead to the end of the world. But here's the thing, she also knows that she loved him in that timeline. And I think that scares her too, because she knows if I could love him then, I could love him now. And she's hiding her feelings, as we've seen, saying, you know, if Adrien wasn't around, saying, "I can't see you do this stuff anymore, you know, don't do this to me." So we know that he holds a huge spot in her heart. Now, Alia could never take that spot. Alia's a best friend. Cat is a love interest. They are two different things. I mean, yes, you love your best friend, but you don't love your best friend the same way you love your love interest. It just doesn't happen. So, there's no way he's being replaced. He is always going to be Cat and Ladybug against the world. Alright, so the next thing we're going to look at, though, is what does this mean for the story, and how is this going to affect anything going forward? So, okay, we already know. Alia knows. Cat does not. That's going to be a point of contention if he does find out. And I think it's possible he might find out, and that might be what they're working up to. But I also think that this is not, like, we haven't heard the end of Cat Blanc. And I think that's going to come back. I don't think he's necessarily going to be akumatized into Cat Blanc. Or I've heard a theory out there that somebody said Sandboy is going to come back, and Ladybug's new nightmare is not going to be that she loses her powers, but Cat Blanc. And he's going to be like, what was that? If that happens, then there's definitely going to be something. We're like, hey, you got to tell me what's going on here. But if that happens, that'll be cool. It'd be awesome to see. I would love to watch that episode. But I don't necessarily think that's how it's going to go down. They are going to have to confront it though. And I think this is part of what's going to happen when, you know, Kat says, hey, what's going on? Why are you, you know, adding Rena Rouge to the team? Am I not enough to help you anymore? What's going on? Like, when he comes to that point, I think Kat Blanc is going to be addressed. So Ladybug is pushing Kat away. Whether she's meaning to or not, I think she's definitely pushing him away. Especially after we see what she goes through losing Luca in the episode of Truth and Lies, you know, and how she thinks she can't talk to Adrien because it'll be the same. She is afraid that no matter what she does, she can't have a love life because Hawkmoth, Shadowmoth, will cause problems and will try to use them to get to her and will akumatize them, and she just can't see somebody she loves getting akumatized. So she is, whether she's doing it intentionally or not, pushing Kat away just a little bit, I think, and trying to protect herself and protect her heart. But I do think that when it gets to a point that they, you know, have to deal with, hey, what's going on? Why is Rena Rouge part of the team? Why didn't you tell me? Are you replacing me? Like, if it actually gets to that point, then I think they're gonna have to face Kat Blanc. You know, whether it's through Sandboy or whether it's, you know, just talking about it and saying, hey, you know, this is what happened in this alternate timeline, and I can't do it. I can't see you akumatized. I can't have our love destroy the world. So, I mean, maybe at that point, Cat Noir is going to be like, wow, I have no choice with Ladybug. What am I supposed to do? And maybe that's when he starts looking at Marinette. I'm not sure. But that's what it's going to come down to. They're going to have to hash out Cat Blanc, I think. And, you know, why she can't love him. So that's what I think is going on with that. Although, you know, I know a lot of people are like, well, why doesn't Ladybug just give him a magic charm? So far, when she's given a magic charm to someone, it's because they were akumatized. So I kind of have a theory that she can't really give a charm to someone unless they are akumatized. I don't know. So unless Cat Noir does get akumatized, he's not going to get a charm. Though I kind of have toyed with the idea that maybe Marinette's lucky charm is kind of like a magic charm for Adrien, Cat Noir, and that he's going to focus on that and hold on to that and that relationship with her, Marinette, and that'll ground him and it'll keep him from becoming akumatized, I think. I don't really know, but those are my thoughts. So I don't think Cat Noir is, you know, out in the dark completely. I don't think he's being replaced. I do think it's part of the plot. And I do think we are going to kind of see it later. Although, you know, the writers could just be clowning us, and every single episode we haven't seen yet, which is what? 5, 9, 10, 12? They could all be about Cat Noir, or have a lot of Cat Noir. And we'll all just be like, ha, we were so wrong. But anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.